Have you ever wondered why sometimes if you work really hard, you get success, like you actually achieve your goals, and sometimes if you work really hard, you don't? I know it's crazy. And I know the thing about it is it makes it really difficult to actually lock in sometimes, right? That fear that if you work really hard, that you won't actually get to success. It's a spinoff of imposter syndrome. And if you work really, really hard on something for years and years and years and years and it doesn't work, let me know in the chat if this is you. I know I have been there, but a lot of things have opened my eyes throughout my 14 years of being an entrepreneur that have helped me to understand when I should take action and when I shouldn't, so that I can ensure that my hard work will see success. I promise y'all want to appreciate this. So this is my little emoji, like my fist. Hard work, no, it don't work. Hard work, sometimes it does work. So before we get into this, I got to explain a couple things about your brain and your body. I know you're like, what does my body have to do with this? It's going to make so much sense in just a minute. We're going to do, we first going to talk about working hard, why you feel like you have to work hard. For some of us who like equate hard work to success. So 99% of people have been programmed. You have been programmed that hard work equals success. So let's just kind of make a little equation up here. Hard work equals success. And most of us equate success to money. So hard work equals money. And the reason that you have been programmed this way is because the powers that be, they need you to trade your time for money. So hard work is really just time, right? Time and effort. That's the crazy part about it. Time and effort. So you have been programmed to believe that time equals money. The reason that you've been programmed is because the powers that be need your time to do the work so that you can make a little bit of money and they can make a lot of money. I'm not here to condemn anybody. Listen, the rules are here and we just got to know the rules so that we can play them better than we were playing them before. We're not about to sit here and complain about it, okay? It's not going to get you more money or get you to success, okay? So you have been programmed that time equals money. So if you've been doing this your whole life, I know for me, I started working when I was my first job when I was 8, and my grandmother had a daycare and she let me watch the kids. And it was like, work for me 2 hours a day. I'll pay you $5 an hour. I can't remember how much it was. And then every job I had after that was the same. And so most of you who have salaries, you make good money at your salary, you make good money at your job. Your job is saying, hey, we will pay you X amount of money. Let's put the X on the other side. Per year. More programming. Okay? And so this is further programming you that more time equals more money. All right? So you say to yourself, you start your business. Let me know if you got any businesses out there. Please, this is a free place to promote your business. If you got a business and you want to promote it, put it down in the chat. I'll go and check it in just a minute. So you have your job and your job has programmed you for 20, 30 years. More time equals more money. Then you come out into the entrepreneurship world and you're like, I want to make more money. Right? And so this is your business. We're just going to give it a nice little cute little house. That's the office. And you say, hey, I want to make more money. And guess what you're going to instinctively do because you've been programmed for forever. I need to work more time. But how many of y'all know that the top CEOs and business owners, you know, Elon Musk and I don't know, the rest of those guys. Y'all know all those rich guys. Do you think they're trading time for money? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. Here's the crazy part about this. This has been so programmed in you. Like I'm saying this, and some of you are shaking your head right now. Like, yeah. You have been so programmed that it is really difficult to break out of this. Okay, so this is why, because you are intentionally programmed from day one to do this. Part of this reason is, one, they need your labor. Absolutely. Again, don't talk trash, because someday you're going to need somebody else's labor as a business owner. Okay, they need your labor, but they also need you occupied. Okay, so this is you. They need, we just make some boxes. You boxing stuff. They need your labor, and they need you. We do some eyes. They need you occupied over here. That's your eyes and this, looking at this little tree. Occupied. Labor. Occupied. They need your brain occupied. Why do they need your brain occupied? We talked about this. I'm going to do a real quick 30-second recap. We talked about this. They need your brain occupied because, remember, I told you, in order to manifest anything, you needed to line up on 3 levels. The first level is the physical level. The next one is the mind. And the last one is the spirit. Really, it should go the other way around. 1, 2, 3. This is, the spirit is I am. I am that I am. Who are you? You are nothing more than the righteousness of God. That's it. Your minds are your thoughts. Your mind is your thoughts and your emotions. So once you know who you are, or whoever you think you are, your identity, because you being a parent, you having a job, you being an investor, those are all roles. ROLES. Those are all roles that we play. But who are you then goes into your thoughts and your emotions. And then your thoughts and your emotions then transcend into the physical realm. Okay. All right. We talked about this last week. This part, anytime you're trying to achieve anything, anytime you're trying to manifest anything, anytime you're trying to bring something down from the spiritual realm into this physical realm, this is 80% of it. This is 20%. 80% of it happens up here. That's your mind. Your mind has a connection to the spirit realm. Okay? So if they need to keep you occupied by trading your time for money, by making you believe that you have to trade your time for money, they need to keep you occupied. The best thing they can do is have you work so that you don't work on this part. Because this part, if you're occupied and you continue to think that time and money, which are both physical substances, things in the physical world, time is a physical substance, money is a physical substance. If you stay here, you will never go there. You will never go to the other side, which is what we all want, which is business success. Right? Success in our purpose, success, financial success, whatever. So how do I keep you from coming over to my other side? Because I need you in your labor. How do I keep you from coming over to my side? I need to program you to stay in the physical realm. Time and money. They could have you focus on a whole bunch of other stuff like sex, drugs, TV, all these things in the physical realm. Everything is designed to keep you in the physical realm, occupied. Okay? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to read some comments. I am the righteousness of God. Thoughts and emotions are that I am. You are not your thoughts and your emotions. Please, I hope you're still on here. You are not your thoughts and emotions. I want to show y'all something. I'm so grateful that y'all all hanging out here because I'm about to really give y'all some major game. Let me erase this. Okay. Your thoughts and your emotions affect the physical world, right? Because that's the middle level. Your thoughts and your emotions affect the physical world. So let's put the levels back up here: spiritual, mind, physical. Okay. So if we know we want to manifest something in the physical realm, which is why we're all here, we're trying to have business success. We want to get more doors. We want to buy more properties. We want to find a mate, whatever it is. I don't know. None of my business. I want you to have fun in this physical realm. If we want to do this, and it has to come from the top down, from the spiritual mind, then to bring it in the physical realm. If you think about anything, just to kind of paint that picture, if you think about anything that you see, this marker started in someone's mind. Everything in the physical started in someone's mind, even you as a being. Your mama looked at your daddy and was like, "Who?" And vice versa. Okay, so what does that mean? The mind is made of thoughts and emotions. The stuff that you manifest here is directly related to your thoughts and your emotions. The good stuff, the bad stuff, directly related to your thoughts and emotions. Now, there's another component to it. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. There's another component to it, which is God. You have to align with his thoughts. He is the final arbiter. But for now, let's just live inside of you as a being, okay? So your thoughts and your emotions affect the physical realm. Have you ever heard of something called the Akashic Records? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to assume that y'all have it, and I'm going to tell y'all what they are. So if you know that your thoughts and your emotions affect the physical realm, then you know that every thought that you put out, it's recorded somewhere that we can't see. Every thought, especially the emotionally charged thoughts, because this is what gets alchemized and turns into what's in the physical realm. So these thoughts go out, their energy. Energy can be neither created nor destroyed. Your thoughts can be measured. These thoughts go out. So if you think about you as a person, right? Let's draw you some hair, all of that. And y'all know you have about 60,000 thoughts in a day. And let's pretend like all of those thoughts are emotionally charged. Not all of them are. Actually, no, I can work like this. Not all of them are, okay? So you have 60,000 thoughts in a day. We're just going to make some lists here. And let's say my son took my other markers. Darn it. I had some colored markers here and he just did whatever he wanted to with my markers. It's all right. Let's say these three are positive emotionally charged thoughts and the rest of these are negative. So you could assume that this person, we all know a negative person, they attract negative things in their life. Again, there's another component to this. This is God. There's God as well that has to, you have to align with his thoughts and he has to dictate what happens on this earth. But you can imagine, you already know a bunch of negative people who attract negative things to their life over and 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 over again. Okay. Now, most of you don't understand, for those of you who are believers, most of you don't understand Jesus and how Jesus works. Jesus says, hey, I don't care how many negative thoughts you had, they normally go on your record. Negative thoughts are shame, guilt, anger, sometimes sadness. Y'all know all the negative thoughts. I don't care how far back they went. I will take them from you. I will take these records from you. The Akashic records, right? if you want to look at it that way. I will take your negative Akashic records from you. Okay? Now, the people who don't believe, if you're not a believer, or if you call yourself a believer, but you don't fully agree with it, you still walking around with a lot of shame and guilt and all that. It's hard. I have been there. What we tend to do when we decide that we want to hold on to these negative emotions, and remember, we talked about 3 ways. Oh, you know what? Before I even get to that, if we decide we want to hold on to these negative emotions, what we tend to do is we tend to try to outwork it, right? In order to outwork it, something in our minds, we know that we have to convince ourselves, getting our conscious and our subconscious on the same page about this thing that we're trying to do. So this person has a conscious as well as a subconscious. So she is also looking at all of these negative thoughts and remembering and walking around with this brain pattern of all this negative thoughts. She wants to get to $100,000 per year. She's like, if I get to $100,000 a year in my business, I can leave my job. But she's still looking at these thoughts. And so she says, okay, I feel bad about myself. I'm not worthy. So in order to make myself feel worthy, right, to get her subconscious on the same page with her conscious, she has 3 things that she can do. The first one is repetition. I spelled that wrong. Repetition. The second one is an emotionally charged experience, which is why we tend to go to church. And we try to medicate in other ways, some of them good, some of them bad. Or meditation. What she will typically do, though, is not do 2 or 3. She will say, hey, in order for me to feel better about myself, I need to do something in repetition to make me feel better about myself. What do you do in repetition? What is repetition? Hard work. This is why you do hard work. This is also why I hope this is making sense to y'all. I really do, because I feel like I'm explaining this eloquently. This is also why there was a man, he got long hair too. We're going to make his hair curly. Okay. There was a man that said, I will take all the negative emotions for you so you don't got to do all that hard work. And in the scriptures, this is why he did so many miracles. Because he was taking people's negative Akashic records. And he was doing it in person, and it was like, okay, I can't do this forever. I got to die on the cross because this is how it works. And that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But I want you to see why you equate working hard to success and why it's not working. I didn't even show you why it's not working, why it works sometimes and why it doesn't work all the time. Okay. So this is why it works sometimes. I'm going to tell y'all it's hard. Getting out of here, put this back here. This is why it works sometimes. So if you decide that you want to do repetition, one of 2 things will happen. The first thing is let's say you've made up in your mind how long you think this repetition of this act will take to convince you that you are the person that deserves this success. Let's say in your mind it takes 5 years, right? And so this is you, and you are on this journey for 5 years. You don't even know on a conscious level that this is the time period that you have in your mind. But you know, you'll look back and you'll get to hear the 5 years and it'll be like, oh, I did some hard work. I'm good. I think I'm ready for the success now. And it'll start to happen for you. Or it might not. In this first instance, when she gets to 5 years, she is so programmed at doing this thing that she can't let up off the habit of doing the thing, the hard work. And so she's more addicted to the hard work because she's been doing it for 5 years that she can't even move into the next phase, which is, I deserve this. She has also, we haven't gotten to, this is where I'm kind of bring you to. There's another component to this. This is not just the only component that will get you to success. There are blockers. 7, I like to say, 7 blockers, probably an infinite amount of blockers, but 7 blockers that we don't have time to go through today. I'll share one of them with you. 7 blockers that even if she does feel like she does well here, if she's got these blockers, they will dampen her magnetic field to be able to attract the success into her life. Now, that's option A. This is when it doesn't work. Option B, it's a lot of things you got to have lined up. She does her 5 years or less, gets here. She remembers this whole entire time that I'm not married to this process. I'm just doing it. I am not married to it. She gets here and looks back and says, I did good. I'm not doing that no more. I'm ready for the next level. I did good. And has an identity shift. I am no longer married to all that work I got going on back there. I probably got some more work. It's just different work. But I ain't doing that no more. A lot of people don't do that identity shift. They get here and stay here forever till they're 60, 70, 80, 90 years old. Then the other thing she has to do is she's got to release her 7 blockers. Okay? That's the part that people really be tripping out. That's the part where honestly messed me up. She's good. But here's the thing though. If she's really good, she knows that this 5 years is really arbitrary. The only truth is what you accept it to be. This is why you hear about people who have like instant success. Some people do it really quickly because they know that this number is arbitrary. This can happen in 5 weeks. She can have an identity shift in 5 weeks. She can have an identity shift in 5 days. I don't know. All right. Who got questions? Let me know in the chat. What's up, y'all? Oh, y'all hanging out in here. I appreciate it. I got a thing on my screen, so I can't even see it. Oh, y'all comment in the comments. Thank you. I love y'all. Somebody said Atlantic Records. That's crazy. All right. So I'm going to show y'all this last thing. And then, yeah. So we're not going to have time, honestly. So for those of you, if you are trying to quit your 9 to 5 so that you can focus on your business, if you've been stuck working in this side business and not converting it into your business and you want a 2 to 7 extra income in the next 30 to 90 days, depends on how long you go through the program. I have a wait list for my Goggles and Money Accelerator. I say all this to say you can join the wait list because the doors are not open yet. So make sure you join the wait list. But I say all this to say that I recorded the trainings. Like I spent a very long time putting together the framework for this. It's a 4-phase framework that allows you to like work on you and the business. It is intense, heavy stuff. This is for the action takers. I'm not going to sit up here and be like, this is easy work. It's short amount of work, but it's hard work. You got to focus. So if you're really serious about it, go to the link below. But I say this to say I recorded, I'm almost done recording the entire program, and I recorded it, and I was thinking about these 7 blockers, and I really thought long and hard about which one I wanted to share with you guys today. And before I do it, I do need to give you a explanation about some things. You all know that you are really a big clump of metal. You are a magnet. For real. This can be measured. I'm not making this up. This can be measured. So this is you. And this is your magnetic charge. Now, here's the thing. You were designed to be a magnet, but some of you are not. Some of you are just, this is a big clump of metal. In order to be a magnet, and this can be measured, this magnet goes out, they say 6 feet out or something like that, but it probably goes out way, way further. In order to charge a magnet, which I believe the magnet is a charge so that you can align your thoughts with God, so that you can attract the things that He wants into your life, that you want into your life. You guys are on the same page. You're not wanting something that He does not have in store for you. Okay? You can't, I want to say you can't attract things that's not in store for you. You can, but if you do, trust and believe either one of 2 things is happening. God is teaching you a lesson, or the scripture says many are called, few are chosen. You ain't a chosen one. You want to be like, you want God to slap your hand every time, because if He's giving you stuff that's not in alignment with His will, you got a problem. You about to get a hard lesson, or you ain't one of the chosen ones. Okay. All right. Let's come back to this. So in order to magnetically charge yourself, this has all been measured. You have to have heart-mind coherence. This is your heart and that's your mind. Okay. This is really when you get your subconscious and your conscious, or let's do an equation, and your conscious on the same page. Right? We talked about this in another lesson. Okay. You have to have a heart-mind coherence. Now, getting your conscious and your subconscious on the same page is not the only thing. The other portion of this is you got the 7 blockers that will dampen this magnetic field. That I can promise you most people have 1 or 2 of these. The one that I want to focus on today is being offended. The reason I want to focus on this one, is because people don't know that when you allow yourself to be offended, this was a lesson that I got over the past couple years. When you allow yourself to be offended, you're only hurting yourself. This dampens your magnetic field. So I don't care if you're in conscious and subconscious is on the same page, but when you are offended, it dampens your magnetic field. We don't have time to talk about this today. It's all in my Goggles and Money Income Accelerator, because this gets even deeper than this. But I want to remind you of the original sin. The original sin, Cain and Abel. One offered up a sacrifice. They both offered up sacrifices. One God was more pleased with. The other one, so one actually offered up animal sacrifices, Abel. Cain offered up fruit and vegetables sacrifices, And God was more pleased with the animal sacrifices. Guess what Cain got? Offended. The offense is what set off a chain reaction to bringing sin into just really just letting it roam free. That wasn't the original sin. That was the second sin. But honestly, let's go back to the original sin. The original sin, well, the second sin was because of the original sin. Why were they out there? Because they got locked out of heaven, and so they had to do work. So now, okay, we got to do work. We got to offer up sacrifices. They didn't have to do that type of work before. They did, but it wasn't that same type of work. It wasn't the hard work where you got to kill animals, all of that. So as a result of Adam and Eve, now Cain and Abel is out here. Now let's go back to Adam and Eve's the original sin. God told Adam and Eve, do not eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. When the serpent came and tricked Eve, what did he say to her? God doesn't want you to eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil because he doesn't want you to be like him. And guess what Eve was? Offended. She was offended. When God said, I made you in my image, you are already like me. What are you talking about? So I want to let you know that one of the 7 blockers is being offended. You got to let it go. Sometimes letting it go means forgetting about it. That's one of the reasons why I used to hold on to my offenses heavy. Because I'm like, I do not want to forget what such and such did. So I'm going to think about it every 35 days. Oh, haven't thought about that. Let me think about that again. I want to remember what such and such did to me. And then one day you realize, hey, this is such and such is sleeping good at night. Meanwhile, you got your timer on. Sometimes your timer goes off at 2:00 in the morning, where you got to remind yourself of what such and such did. And it's hurting them more than it's hurting you. And so then guess what you'd end up doing because you feel bad? You end up working hard to outwork this. Because such and such offended you and you somewhat believe what they did, but you somewhat believe what they said, and you somewhat believe that you deserve what they did. So therefore, in order, I'm going to show them such and such did this to me. I'm going to show them I'm going to work real hard. Okay. Who got questions? What I want y'all to do, I just gave y'all as much as I could in this little time period. If you want to get on a wait list for the Goggles and Money Income Accelerator, you need to join the wait list. You don't gotta, I'm not asking you for anything. You don't have to pay for it. Join the wait list. This program is designed to have you leave your job. I don't want you working really hard. It's designed to help you. I don't want to use this word heal, but it's designed to help you enter this journey in the right state. It's not about you not having the success and not being able to quit your job. It's not about how much hard work you're doing. It's not about how smart you are or how smart someone else isn't. It's about having a lot of things lined up. The scripture says the path of a righteous man is straight and narrow. I want you to not forget that. That means a lot of things have to be lined up, and it has nothing to do with the things in this physical realm. It has everything to do with things up here. Okay? Everything to do with things up here. I just saw a text message. You know what? I'll tell the Instagram peeps. I ain't gonna worry about your YouTube peeps. Y'all could. I'll tell the Instagram. I'll tell y'all in a minute. That's about a potential amazing experience for everybody. So yeah, I join the wait list. I love y'all. Have an amazing day.